Joe Manchin leaves the Democratic Party and registers as an independent. Manchin's decision after years of bucking party leadership could allow him to run for governor or try for another Senate term this fall after ruling out doing so as a Democrat. So I'll say a few things. For one, this dude was never going to win West Virginia as a Democrat, and he knew it. He's effectively forced into retirement having been a Democrat because West Virginia ain't having none of it. However, the big news here is the Democrats no longer have the Senate. That's it. Mm-hmm. That they know. There you go. Now it's what? It's 50-49.
Well, it's necessary, like I mentioned earlier, it's necessary for the people that leave the Democrat Party to not caucus with the Democrats, right? Because if they're going to caucus with them, they're voting as if they are Democrats. It is not. It is only a move in it's name symbolic. Only. Yeah, it's only symbolic move, not at all material.
If Manchin is going to try to maintain a political career in West Virginia, he's going to have to be he must be desperate right now to prove that he's not going to go the Democrat route. Just leaving the party won't be enough. If he actually tries making moves to be like, well, I'm independent, but I'm not with the Democrats, vote for me. In the event we get a contingent election, the House chooses the president, the Senate chooses the vice president. And now that the Democrats no longer have the Senate definitively, that means the possibility of a Trump-Harris administration is off the table. Bummer, right?
I mean, that sitcom would have been hilarious.
It's not going to be anybody, though. I've been talking about this for a long time. I was probably one of the first to really bring up this whole idea of a contingent election when Kennedy's PAC was advocating for this. I mean, they literally said this in their own press release. Kennedy doesn't actually want to win. This is my problem with Kennedy, right? This is why I can't stand him, is he knows that he has no chance of winning. His whole goal, as stated by the American Values Super PAC, okay, which now has officially received enough funding to put him on the ballot in all 50 states, is to create a contingent election by taking at least 15 electoral votes. So when people are entertaining an RFK Jr. Presidential run, what they're entertaining is the American people being deprived of their ability to choose the next president of the United States. In a contingent election, the Congress doesn't have to choose between the people on the ballot. They could literally choose anybody. So technically speaking, they don't want Trump or Biden. Do you think they want Joe Biden for another 4 years? No, they don't want Joe Biden. They don't want Trump, and they sure as hell don't want RFK Jr. We could literally get President Ilhan Omar. We could get President. No, I'm serious.
I know you're right.
I'm not. It's not out of the question. We could get President Alex Soros. They could put Hillary Clinton in charge. They could make Nancy Pelosi president in a contingent election, because I don't think a lot of people understand what that means. They could choose anybody.
Mitt Romney.
Literally anybody could be our president. You don't even have to be on the ballot.
Manchin said he would pick he's like a possible VP is.
And that's why everybody is freaking out, because they're like, oh, well, Biden isn't even going to be on the ballot in Ohio, right? Biden isn't even going to be on the ballot in Ohio. How is it that the Democrats are going to be able to get him on the ballot because they've given them until August 15th to, I guess,
they'll break the law.
To certify their candidate to get on the ballot. But they've already said publicly, the Democrats, that they're not going to certify their candidate until the convention.
Well,
why would you do that?
They're saying they might do a virtual mini nomination just to have it on paper.
But why not do it now? There's no reason why they wouldn't just do it now, because the DNC rules, they're different from the Republicans, right? If you look at the DNC rules and their charter, it actually allows them to pick a candidate after the primaries take place at their convention. So even though the primary elections have already taken place, if there's enough people within the DNC leadership that vote for it, they could nominate Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama or somebody else at their convention in August.
I might have to pay Will Chamberlain some money, because we had a bet. He said that Nikki Haley would be Trump's VP. And I said, no way. And he was like, let's make a bet. He said, what did he say? Give me 2-to-1 odds or something like that.
Something like that.
And so he lost. And he said, okay, looks like I got to pay the charity of your choice, the couple grand or whatever. And well, I don't think it's fair to say it's definitive yet, because if they pull a contingent election and they're like, yeah, we don't like Trump or Biden, so we're going Romney-Haley.
What a ticket, a Romney-Haley ticket.
But we're not going, I don't know why you're assuming that we're going to have control of the House. You don't, these Republicans.
No, you don't understand. A Romney-Haley ticket means we've lost control of the House.
But the House, I don't even think that Republicans are going to keep control of the House, right? So it goes. I think that you're going to have one of these Republicans, and it's a McCarthy coalition, right? That's why McCarthy and his friends all announced their retirements early. They could have easily stayed in Congress for the duration of their term throughout 2024, but they wanted to be intentional douchebags to screw President Trump over, right? And so you're going to have one of these Republicans stroke out or announce at the last minute that they're going to, closer to the convention or closer to August, that they're just going to leave. Right? Or maybe one of them will have an accident, or maybe one of them will die. They're all geriatrics anyway, let's be honest. If that's the case, Hakeem Jeffries becomes Speaker of the House, and the Colorado ruling from the Supreme Court, when Colorado tried to take Trump off the ballot, they left it open. They didn't say that Trump couldn't be removed from the ballot. They said that Congress could potentially pass a measure to remove Trump from the ballot. So if they don't throw him in jail, and there's a way for Trump to somehow get certified at the convention, which was, supposed to take place 4 days after his sentencing, then they'll just give the House over to Hakeem Jeffries.
No, I figured it out.
Okay.
President Schiff.
Laura's not happy about that.
The Republicans are gonna lose the majority. It's gonna be like a few states are in dispute. Missouri and Texas are going to be embroiled in lawsuits, so the electoral votes don't get sent. It's 250 to 250 or whatever. No one makes 270. The House is controlled by the Democrats, and they say all in favor of President Schiff and Vice President Ilhan Omar, and then you get the Schiff-Omar administration.
Hell.
I am kidding. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just, imagine that.
And it would be interesting to see the reaction from Trump's base, who is really strong. I mean, that's the problem.
What? The reaction for what?
Like, if it's not Trump for whatever reason, if he's in jail, they try to take him off the ballot. Like, there are so many people who are so supportive of Donald Trump that ultimately someone's going to have to answer for it. I mean,
we're going to have a straight up fucking revolution in this country if they take Trump off the ballot or if they don't allow for Trump to be president. I'm just saying it right now. I'm not advocating for violence by any means whatsoever, but the American people are not going to have it. We are not going to allow for Donald Trump, or for the American people to not have the ability to vote for Donald Trump for president. There will be a revolution in this country. I am not advocating for violence. I want to be very clear, because I'm sure Media Matters and everybody's going to be clipping these clips. But there will be a revolution, and it will not be peaceful.
But this is the thing, right? We've talked about what happens if the right begins to act like Antifa. The left smashes window, starts fires, they go crazy. The right doesn't do those things. But the left, when we're watching these gangs go into department stores and just steal whatever they want, it's because they don't fear any repercussion. They don't believe there's any authority over them. So they don't feel loyalty, or they don't fear authority. They don't fear repercussions. If it comes to the point where people on the right, regular working people who vote for Trump and are not super politically active, feel that the detriments they're facing outweigh the potential ramifications, you will get something that it's not. I don't think it necessarily, at least in the immediate, would escalate to violence. I think my fear is it's actually much simpler than this. One, we don't want the country to break apart. The communists do. They want to get rid of the Constitution, so they need some kind of no confidence vote or breaking of the system. But if we come to the point where people on the right are just like, the government doesn't exist, it's basically the mob at this point, and I don't talk to the mob, they just stop paying taxes. We will see a revolution, not of people forming militias or anything like that. They literally will just stop working with other interstate agencies and federal agencies.
I'm not saying that it's conservatives that are going to be violent. I'm saying when there's going to be a revolution, it's not even necessarily going to be conservatives that get violent. If they remove Donald Trump or they prevent Donald Trump from becoming president, the revolution will be triggered by the Democrats. You think they're going to stop with Trump? They're going to start rounding up everybody that supported President Trump, all of his campaign advisors. There's literally going to be gulags in America. So when I say there's going to be a revolution and it's not going to be peaceful, they really are planning. They really are planning for mass arrests. They are planning to jail Trump supporters and to target them. Why do you think they want to have this massive FBI building? Why do you think they want to arm all these IRS agents? They're coming after us.
This only happens if police agree.
Well, the police certainly didn't stand up during COVID.
Are the cops going to be like, yeah, let's just go arrest Trump supporters?
Well, they already do, right?
I think they will.
They already are doing it. Look at all these raids that are happening on Trump supporters right now. You have grandmas I mean, imagine being a police officer and participating in a raid on a 77-year-old grandma who's baking cookies simply because she wore a Trump hat at the Capitol.
Maybe this is why it's smart that Trump and the right keeps praising cops, because they're hoping that, when revolutions happen, the typically civil wars break down, civil wars ignite. The difference between a civil war and a revolution is simply, did the military or law enforcement stay unified? If violent factions in if the military splits, civil war. If law enforcement is at odds with the military, civil war. If the military maintains control, revolution. So if the military, the generals and the heads of police all agree, and you get some unifying principle, and they say, look, Donald Trump is the president, there's no question about it, then Donald Trump's the president. Nothing else matters. And you can call it a revolution, you call it whatever you want. If one general and some lieutenants or whatever start fighting over it, and then you get different military factions fighting, then you get civil war.
I almost wonder, I can't speak to any kind of civil conflict, but I do wonder about the long-term social and cultural effect of the next election, right? I think we all acknowledge all the time that there's a huge political divide in America, that it seems to be pulling farther and farther apart. And at a certain point, it makes me wonder if people will continue down this path of low trust society. We don't think we have anything in common with our neighbors. People are really looking to be in their own echo chambers and silos. Or if coming through this election, if Trump gets elected, if there is a way to sort of stabilize our culture and come back to a unifying America First front, because that's what I find so interesting about left-wing voters in America, which is like they hate it here and they hate everything, but there's sort of no positive turn, right? There's nothing to save for them. It's all about burning it down.
Yeah, because the reason I say no is because you're not going to get the people that think that Donald Trump is like the evil Nazi guy, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to get them to start thinking, oh, I was wrong. To get them to that point, right, where they're so detached from reality has literally been years and years and years of conditioning by the left, right? You're getting the same narrative from the left about whoever the target is. So the way that the left has characterized the right, and I'm talking about people like, Jon Stewart. I'm talking about Stephen Colbert, people that are constantly demonizing their political opponents and demonizing them in a way that isn't that essentially steals any credibility from them in totality. So they can't have good ideas. Or if you like one of their ideas, it's because there's something wrong with you, some kind of defect because you like their idea. And so instead of listening to an idea that's a good idea, they say, well, why do I like that idea? What's wrong with me? And when you have people that are really convinced that deeply, like that ideologically possessed, you're not going to get them to think, oh, I was wrong about Donald Trump. I was wrong about them Republicans. All the people that believe that the basket of deplorables was a good and positive statement that needed to be made, and it was good that we called these people out. If they believe that, there isn't anything that's going to happen that's going to change their mind. And there are only more of those people being made every year as colleges pump out more of those people that have gone through schooling that is so steeped in that. Because we got here because of that ideological indoctrination in college.
Right.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.